One of the things that you opened up with at the beginning was you talked about learning deeply about your customers and their pain points and their problems. So you could say Growth Expansion 101 is a well-defined, understood brand that is aligned internally and then explained well externally, and that the voice of the customer is the highest voice of authority in the business. So these are really basic things. But when CEOs, CROs, CMOs are constantly saying we're not aligned, in fact, we don't even have a true, concise definition of our ideal customer profile. And you're saying that's really important in your own words, but then you're now expanding into different markets and different cultures. And so tell me a little bit about how you, align around the voice of the customer, and then how you do that on a global basis too.
Yeah, so it starts with the kind of really studying who the customers are internally. And the other thing that's really important is that we've got a broad spectrum of B2B customers. We've got a big chunk, probably close to half, are enterprise tech. And depending on what we're helping people sell, we identify who we're targeting there. It could be C-suite people, CMOs, marketers. It could be tech people. It runs the gamut. But then we also have quite a bit of broader B2B services, industrial, manufacturing, healthcare, other areas. So there's not like a one size fits all. It really depends on the market. And then within the market, you have to adapt to the geo of what that is. So our work for a lot of customers, we're helping them actually do that work. So a company may go in and buy several companies, have several different data sets. They need to be unified and scored and run models, and we're doing that type of work. So that has helped us understand our own information and our own data and use our own tools to do that. But we spend a lot of time, and then just the conversations. I mean, I feel like now the one thing I wish I could do more of, and I do as much as I can, is we host events. They could be lunch and learns, they could be dinners, they could be half-day events where we invite the customers and we let them usually take the stage with a moderator, and we'll listen to them and we'll pose these type of questions to them, like, what's going on? What are you seeing? So we spend a lot of time with those customers to try to figure out what they're going through and study the companies we're working with.
I just interviewed about 3 weeks ago a 4-time B2B CRO, and he was saying exactly what you're saying. So you're talking about from the point of view of the CEO. He was talking about from the point of view of the CRO. Can't tell you how many countless conversations I've had with CMOs that we all need to have one-on-one conversations. We need to be in direct conversations with our customers. It's a really important part of it. But you nailed it on the head too. It takes up a lot of your time being CEO, the amount of time that you have to dedicate to that. But, if we go back to our ICP is complex and always changing, how do you operationalize that? And then when you have those meetings that you're talking about, how does that get translated to the teams that are performing, the teams that are executing? So it's not just in your head or in the head of the few people that are at those meetings. How does that work in your organization?
Yeah, so I've always liked the kind of different specialties within the C-suite. I think that's the way to go. You can combine, like we have certain ones that are combined, but I love having a marketing perspective from the CMO, a sales perspective from the CRO, a financials perspective from the CFO. And what we get now, which is, I think I'm very fortunate to have this kind of team, is that they work together really well. And this number one indicator of success in our organization, because we've had people that haven't made it, that were C-suite or have moved on, or it just wasn't a good fit, is that ability, kind of like that soft skill to work across the lines and work with each other and understand what we're trying to do. There's several organizations that the CRO, CMO are combined into one, but I like having the sales perspective, the marketing perspective, as long as they're working together, and the financials perspective. They're all important. And we have a chief data officer, a chief people officer. So we've filled out these positions, but the requirement is like, you have to work as a team. You're not fighting each other, and you understand the perspective of where each other's coming from. So that's really important. The other thing that's really important is because, again, we're marketers, we're selling marketing solutions, right? So we understand that our customers are trying to target people, and we're trying to target the customers, and how that all works. So we're kind of living that every day. So it's not that big a leap to say the most important thing is probably what's the ideal customer of the customer. Who are they trying to reach? What is the company trying to do? Who should they be marketing to? What kind of data should they be using? What channels should they be using? So we've got a lot of experience in cross-channel, different profiles. That's kind of the business. So it hasn't been just is what our business is. It's not really a struggle to get there.